What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ken Frederick Podcast, episode 100. Whoopee! I want to say, sincerely, thank you for listening. And,
all 12 of you.
All 12. No, Rob's here, so 11.
Yeah, 11.
Please check us out at kfpodcast.com, at kfpodcast on Facebook, at Ken Fred Podcast on the Twitter, at Ken Frederick Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, Tumblr,
Google Plus,
MySpace. Grindr, MySpace.
He always has to sneak that one in there.
I think it's funny to have the gay dating site as well.
Hey, we've expanded. We're everywhere.
All right.
We don't discriminate.
So we've decided for a 100 episode we are doing our Game of Thrones updates and predictions because our last Game of Thrones prediction podcast was our most viewed podcast
Close to
in
4,000.
history. Yeah, almost 4,000.
But we have done, we've done a lot more than 100 shows, but this is actual 100.
Of the regular episode, I don't even know.
About, we've been a year and a half
something like that.
Doing this.
Yeah, so
and let me just say, for me, it's one of my favorite parts of the week. I know a lot of people don't listen, but I really enjoy doing it. It's good to hang out with, 3 of your closest friends and have a good time. And
yeah,
I agree. It's a good.
Yeah, this is absolutely the best part of my week.
Yeah.
I was annoyed that I thought today was Thursday, and I'm like, I only got because Thursday, then I have 1 day work, and then I'm off. But
yeah,
no,
I know.
The same thing happened to me too.
I was like,
I got to get through one more day.
And then it helped introduce us to Rob.
Yeah.
Got us in the fold with him and other people. So it's been good. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
I enjoy hanging out with all of you doing this show. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Right,
So
that's the end of me being sappy. We're supposed to be angry on this, like the last one we did.
Well, maybe it's the opposite. As long as you show emotions.
Yeah, it's just some emotion. Start listening and subscribing.
Emotion.
Yeah, we flew off the handle. The last episode.
Like I said on there, I know from my end we're not going anywhere. So
yeah,
we're gonna keep trying and trying and trying. If you're ready to give up, it'll just be DV's calling.
The 100th episode,
which is the ultimate plan.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Me down here by myself, going, "Welcome." No, I would miss you guys.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would. So we're gonna keep going and doing new stuff and seeing what works and what doesn't work, and that's where we're at.
And I think the future of the show includes some SoundCloud. If you haven't checked us out on SoundCloud, we're doing exclusive content there.
Yeah. And hopefully more connecting it to iTunes. We have to get that running.
Yeah. It's always on the horizon.
A lot of that stuff. We're always trying new stuff.
So let's get down and dirty with this Game of Thrones nonsense.
Season 7 wrap-up.
So, Season 7 ended. How many episodes was it? 6?
It was 7.
7
episodes.
7 for 7.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen a show tie up so many loose ends and get ready for the best parts of the show very quickly than this season,
without just doing it quickly. Like they tied up the loose ends, but everything made sense.
It did. Other than time, everyone's bitching online about time.
Well, I mean, you went from a show that you used to go 12 episodes or 10 episodes, and it'd be like, man, are they even at this place yet? They've been traveling for 10 episodes. We're here in 10 minutes. They're like, boop, we're on the other side of the country because we don't have time.
The Raven, they got back to the castle. The Raven flew all the way to the southern half of the continent, and then the Dragon flew all the way back to the north end of the continent in 10 minutes time.
Hey, they had to get it moving because they were under the gun.
Yeah, and you know what? I appreciate it.
Yeah,
because I understand that they're spending money on other things. Like
they spent money on CGI this year.
Oh,
big time.
Big money on CGI.
Movie quality dragons, movie quality fights.
Instead of Inhumans being at the movie theater, or this should be at the IMAX.
Well, it's funny. If you go back to episode 25, when I listened to it again, our highest rated show, when we were talking about it, and you had said at that time that they were going to finish this show as a movie.
I had heard that at one point.
And we started making fun of him because he said, this is a show, they should finish it as a show. And we were like, finish it as a show, not as a play or a halftime show. Finish it as a show. And I was putting images on the screen. I want this show to be a show. And we went off on that for like 5 minutes about finish it as a show. Like, it is a show. It's always a show. No matter where they show it at, it's a show.
But the way that they set it up, they made me want to see, like, because the last season's gonna be 3 or 4 episodes.
Last season, I guess, is supposed to be 6.
6. One less than this season.
But some of them are 2 hours long.
Yeah, so you're getting The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings all wrapped up together
there's
in
going to
the
be
season.
some long-ass episode.
Which I'm fine with. I'll sit there for,
Yeah, I mean, this last episode, the 80 minutes flew by.
Oh, yeah. Totally did.
See, they don't fly by for me when you watch it with kids who keep coming in a room and you have to pause. So an hour and 20-minute episode, I'm like, what time did we start this episode? It's midnight because you have to pause it. And I'm like, yeah, there's going to be some incest sex going on here at the pause it.
That's funny.
But it is. I'm looking forward to it. It's not going to be for, what, 2 years, though?
Yeah. Which, if I get 6 episodes that are like feature-length movies each, if I'm getting Thor-length movies 6 times in 1 year for the best TV show I've ever seen.
Well, I wish it was next year, though. I don't know. But
Well,
yeah, it'll be
fine. I want my toys now, but you have to wait for Christmas. Don't
Yeah, I know. Like I said,
That's a great analogy.
I think it's a good time for, if you're a fan of the show, to watch it again.
Yes.
Because there's a lot to it. Like, even trying to piece together a lot of this stuff that happened, I'm like, man, I forget that even happened.
Yeah.
So, because it's been on for so long. So I think it's a good time for even like people like Brock to watch it and then really enjoy the last season.
Yeah, because I think Brock would enjoy it with all the storylines, but
Probably.
and I was the same way. I watched the first episode and I wasn't into it. And
Yeah, the first episode was rough.
I watched 2 and I really wasn't all that
Yeah,
into it.
once you get through 3 and you get the storyline of Bran getting chucked out that window, that's whenever you start getting hooked.
Yeah.
And
I'll give it a chance.
but I forget what I was going to say.
There was never a season that I didn't really enjoy. Each season had things where I'm like, this is interesting, and then early on with all the shocks that they used to do. I mean, they've toned that down a little bit, but they used to kill people on that show like it was nothing.
Well, they did the last episode,
they did
which we'll get to.
Yeah, they did some of that, but it was crazy.
But I missed the shocking deaths. I liked it all. It reminded me of the first 50-ish episodes or issues of The Walking Dead, where anybody could die.
Yeah,
and that's what the kind
of.
It
was don't get attached to someone. Because I'm like, I really like this character.
Especially if their last name was Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I used to talk to him, and he was 3 seasons into it, and I would go, I really like this guy. And he'd be like, yeah, he's good.
Well, didn't your dad I really like that Ned Stark guy?
Yeah, he's good.
But there's I'm trying to think of some other stuff that happened in season 7. We'll have to see the dragons a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more of the White Walkers.
A lot more of the development and the alliance between the Jon Snow and Daenerys and all that.
We got the return, the more formal return of Bronn, where we know, like...
You got the Starks put back together.
Yeah.
Which
hasn't happened since the first episode, which is strange. It feels good.
It's a long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And they're all so... they're all completely different. Like... When you have Bran as the three-eyed raven, and you have, a face, or Arya as a faceless one.
Yeah.
And
they're all very different.
And then Sansa is a very politically based. I mean, she's had to really.
I thought the way they did Sansa and Arya, and they killed Littlefinger, that was great. Because I'm like, they're about to put her on trial, and who's gonna save her? And then when they turned, I was like, oh, this is one of the best surprises that they've ever done on that show.
I just saw a headline before I came up here, so I didn't get a chance to read the article, but it talked about a very pivotal scene that took place at Winterfell that was cut from the final episode.
Yeah,
and I'm wondering if it was like Sansa and Arya
plotting that,
and
it was so much better that they didn't show it.
Absolutely,
because I was watching that scene like, this is bullshit. Like, what are they going to do to her? Like, we're hating Sansa. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, Sansa's great. Like, she just totally, and he, like, was such a coward, went down. That was great. That was a satisfying moment to see a guy who started so many problems for 7 seasons.
He caused all the issues.
Caused everything.
All the political strife right now.
They called him out on everything.
Yeah. And he's like, there's no way you can know than three-eyed raven Bran, just like you said this and that and this, because I see everything.
Well, that's what they said. That article, I read that same article, and they said that the scene that was cut, if it was truly cut or if it was filmed, was supposedly Sansa went to Bran and asked him, and he explained everything that he saw.
Okay.
So she knew what the third three-eyed raven was saying in advance. So he got that from,
which is if you
They
don't,
probably had to cut a lot of that to work that
closed
episode
captioning
down.
TV is what she had. She
Yeah.
had all the
Yeah.
She got all the
security
details,
footage.
which is awesome.
but it shows how powerful that those three are. You have all the infinite knowledge of Westeros in him sitting there. You have an infinite. She can kill anybody. The best, like.
Yeah, a
Sneaker,
deadly assassin.
Yeah, deadly assassin. She has all the armies of the Vale in the north, and she's the leader. And
Because when he went to them, it was like, I want safe patches back to the Erie
Yeah.
right now. And they were like, get out of here. Like, oh, you just lost. 'Cause they were afraid of him because he had
Yeah.
that huge army.
Yeah.
That's 20,000 soldiers.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're not doing anything with you. You're an idiot.
I saw online the best thing. It shows him. He's like, I need safe passage home, and it says you cannot fast travel while enemies are around, like from Skyrim. I was like, and
It was good. They got him.
but there was whenever he got his throat cut, me and Mindy popped. Like it was like someone scored a
It
touchdown.
was great.
That was my Facebook post. Yes.
Yeah.
And we were like, even whenever they're like, so they cut the Lord Baelish, and they were like, I'm like, oh, get so excited. Like
It was the
it's-
best part of the show.
Yeah.
I was happy to see the Hound like actually stick with him and join their side. I thought he was going to kind of like at the end of the last episode it looked like he was going to go away,
Yeah.
but then he was with them and was like he's like a part hanging out with them. His interaction with his brother was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
So there's speculation to go with the meeting with the mountain. What's the last name? Clegane, both the Clegane
Clegane's,
brothers.
yeah.
Who do you think he's referring to is going to kill?
I think he's referring to Arya
You think Arya's going to kill?
because he said that was on her list that she was going to kill the Mountain. And I think we'll get to that in the predictions. I
Okay.
had to think about, but I think
All right.
that he's like, I know who's coming for you.
He's like,
and
you
you're
do
gonna-
too. Yeah,
You're going to get it.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Well, good.
That was a cool interaction. Then, of course, you had the big incest scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, and they went right to it. Like, I thought there was going to be, like, some moment where they're, like, kissing, and, like, you know, they turn it, and
Oh,
he's
no.
right on top of her.
Get it in.
I was like, okay. You know, and then while they're explaining who he is, that was
Yeah.
pretty well
That
done,
montage.
too. That montage.
Explaining who your aunt is.
They're
while you're
explaining how they're related while
about
they're
6 inches deep.
Yeah.
6 inches of snow. Everybody was
Brands
saying.
in the room watching you, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll get into some predictions now because a lot
Well,
of that
do you want
stuff-
to do predictions, or we want to talk about all the like breakdown? So you have the night.
Yeah, we'll get in here and break it down because there's some things in
Okay,
there.
let's break it down.
So yeah, so I thought first we start with the Night King and the Walkers.
Which
White
which is great.
So the Night King, they melt that wall with that dragon, which was a great scene.
They didn't melt it;
No.
they blew it up.
Now, my question: I can't remember the name of that dragon,
Viserion.
Viserion. Did he seem faster after he became a zombie dragon?
He was.
Well, I think the holes in his wings made him more aerodynamic.
He was
though-
moving.
yeah.
Because when that thing swooped by the first time, I was like, "Holy shit, that thing's fast!"
That was it. Looked cool. Now I did read that that's not considered an ice dragon.
Yeah.
That it's a zombie dragon.
Yeah.
So that was still fire. It was like blue
the blue
fire.
flame.
Yeah.
But it's also magical, so it might even be hot or whatever, because it melted that thing like it blew holes in it and it all just collapsed.
Yeah.
I love, too, how they showed how the wall extends out into the ocean.
Yeah.
The way they did all that. That was
Yeah.
pretty neat, the way they showed that, Ed.
It reminds me when I build walls in Ark. That's how you have to do it to
Oh,
keep the crap from
God.
getting around it.
Throw something at them.
Life's thrown enough at him.
But they
Aw, poor
so
little
they
guy.
so they knocked that down. They're breaking through. I hope that they didn't kill Tormund. We never know his
Yeah.
name. It looked like he was like maybe on the side that it didn't fall in.
It shows him running, and then it shows that giant ass explosion.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he got out of it.
Well,
but
a lot of the wildlings died.
Yeah.
In that they were falling from the wall.
Yep.
yeah, because that's where he had the wildlings based there because they knew it was the weakest point in the wall.
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you had basically they kept saying there's about 100,000 in that White Walker army, but there's giants. Some of them are giants.
At
There's
least-
bears.
at least
There's
three.
bears. There's animals. Now I read in the book part of the thing in the book that White Walkers had like these ice spiders with them. I don't know if they're going to show that because they haven't showed that, but that was like a book thing.
I wonder if they just abandoned that because that's more CGI.
That's a lot of CGI.
that you don't essentially need. Like
Yeah.
they're
but
cool
I
in the
think
mo-
there's going to be animals. I think they'll
Yeah.
probably have creatures with them, and
Well, they've already shown the polar bear. They've shown the wolves before.
Yeah.
So
Horses.
well, I mean,
Horses. Yeah.
horses.
well, here's the thing: if he takes if he kills all the people he just killed at Eastwatch are all part of that army now.
He raises them. Yeah.
So everybody, because I think they're heading for Winterfell first. Is where they're.
Well, it's the first stop headed south.
So anything along the way, all those houses along the way, they're going to pick up all those people too.
So what do you think they get to, like 120,000?
100. Yeah, I mean the army's just going to keep growing the more it starts coming down.
Mm-hmm.
They got the dragon. Him flying on that dragon, he looks great.
So awesome.
It's so awesome.
And in true nerd fashion, they've released a Funko Pop of it.
They
That's
did.
coming
They
out
did
already.
right away.
Yep.
Right away. They had that. Well, they had that planned for a while.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Probably.
a Funko Pop ride.
Yeah. As long as it's not exclusive, I'll probably get it.
It's pretty
It looked
awesome.
cool. So, yeah, I mean, how long do you think it takes them to get? Do you think they're marching for a little while? They get to Winterfell right away.
I don't even know, because in this series, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it starts the first episode and they're at the walls of Winterfell.
They're moving quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
taking
with
them
only
a
6
long-
episodes, they have to move.
Well, I mean, it took them 7 seasons to get
get-
through, to even
Yeah.
get to the wall.
Yeah.
It took
I mean,
them forever.
they
I think
were-
they were building their army and making babies out of
They
the
were at the
casters'
fist
kids.
of the
and,
first men at the beginning of the season, and they made it to the wall. And,
Yeah.
and the Baratheon bastard ran that far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, he did. He wasn't in the last episode at all. They didn't show him.
No.
But you didn't see the guy that got resurrected a bunch of times either.
He was on the
Uncle
wall.
Benjen.
He was on the wall.
Oh,
with
yeah, he was.
He was
Tormund, Giant's Bane, or whatever.
Yeah, because he's the one with the eye.
You don't know if the two of them made it. They ran sort of to the right, and then the wall fell behind them. So I think
bet-
they're okay.
I bet they'll all be together.
They'll be there. They'll be probably coming around the tail end. To
Well,
try
that-
and
Wait,
help
coming
out.
around that too.
That guy. The other thing that could happen. I mean, that guy. How many times has he been raised by the Lord of Light?
A lot.
6.
Maybe maybe he comes back again, and maybe Tormund is brought back.
Yeah,
from
you
the Lord
can't
of
kill
Light.
a great character like him
No.
off yet without a.
No,
without some
there
kind of
has
sign
to be
off.
some closure between him and Brienne.
Yes.
Totally, totally. So I think they're heading probably first for Winterfell.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have a destination.
Well, I mean, it's along the way.
Yeah.
If they're coming
Because
down that path,
if they're just sweeping down.
King's Road.
they'll hit all those
Yeah.
houses before, like House Mormont or whatever, or those other
Yeah.
places up there, and yeah.
Well, won't be House Mormont because Winterfell is the farthest house north other than the wall.
isn't there some up there, other ones up there?
There's
now?
not true houses. And House Mormont's an island to the east or west.
All right, so they're going to hit
That's
it.
why
soon.
they have that's why they have like the best warriors. Is 'cause
Do you
they're
think
stuck
you
around.
see them evacuating that place altogether and heading down south, and it gets completely destroyed?
Well, that depends on how quickly they find out what Cersei did or not.
Right. So
Or how quickly-
let's get to Cersei and King's Landing and her stuff. So at the beginning of the season, she had 60,000 men in the Lannister army. They took
Yeah.
kind of a hit this year.
Okay.
They lost some people, so that army is shrunk from
They
what
pretty
it
much
was.
said it was decimated.
It was decimated. They had a couple because that big fight they have with Daenerys. She takes out a lot of
there was a
it
lot
there.
that were taken out there, and but I think there were only about 10,000 that got taken out at Castle Rock.
You got some taken out there. So I heard a lot of these numbers they throw out there. I heard they're down to like 20,000 men in the Lannister army. She has 10,000 Kingsguard at King's Landing, but then you see her mention in there that she's going to go buy
Hire the 20,000 gold.
the gold company, which is 20,000 men, cavalry, and elephants, which would be kind of different. It's like
Dead
very
elephants. Sweet.
Lord of the Rings-ish, you know, with that kind of army.
The baby elephant at the Pittsburgh Zoo died. Speaking of dead elephants,
And then the
Womp
Iron
womp.
Fleet. I don't know how many are in the actual Iron Fleet.
6.
Six people.
Well, it's close to 1,000 ships.
You got to think that there's 20 people.
So
So,
she
that's
still
like
has a-
600,000
Still has a
people.
decent army that she's not bringing to the battle. She lied.
Yes.
So what do you think her and Tyrion, what do you think that deal was? She said something. I have a theory.
Okay, so I'm not 100% sure that a deal was made. I think she screwed him over. I don't think he would go against Daenerys.
Well,
like
you
that.
you saw the look that he had when he saw that Jon and her were together. So what I thought, and I saw a couple people touch on this, was when he found out that she was pregnant. You remember when he was talking to her to Daenerys earlier about there needs to be an heir. You need
Yeah.
to choose an heir, and you can't have children. Who's it going to be? I think there was some kind of a deal of after this is all over, your baby, your kid, you and Jaime's kid, will be the heir to the throne when Daenerys leaves. Some sort of a deal in there.
They'll get like they'll raise the baby.
They'll raise the baby because you're not going to win this army. I think he convinced her you're not going to win this army. And you're worried about the Lannisters moving on in your life, your child. Because he found out, like the conversation switched when he found out. He was like, "You're pregnant," and she was holding her stomach and all that. Because they made that big deal about. He was like, "Who's your heir going to be?" Remember, he kept saying that to her.
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe why his look when he saw Jon and her about to go in that room was like, "Oh, what if he gets her pregnant? Because no one's here to get her pregnant. She didn't think because she had a baby that was stillborn."
Yeah.
So I think he had a little bit of worry, not knowing that his sister was going to end up just screwing them all together. Or he already knew that Jon was a Targaryen, and that's why he was making.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation that somehow he knows and has just kept it quiet the whole time.
I still feel like he made some kind of deal with her to agree to come back in.
I'm sure he did, but I don't know
And
what.
he's upset about it.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Do you think that he turns on Daenerys?
I don't think he would turn on her, especially if he. Now you have Jaime who left her, and he looked like he was on his way north.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it depends on how quickly he can catch up with them. He will warn them, the army's not coming, you're on your own.
And I was surprised he didn't have like Bronn with him or anything like that.
Yeah, because what is going
He
to
kind
happen
of took off
him.
with Podrick and went and drank and never touched on that again.
Well, I don't know if he really had time because the mountain almost killed him.
The Mount I thought was going to chop his head off
Yeah.
there for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, there was one point in that, 2 different points in the show where you thought she was taking out both her brothers.
Yeah. Yeah. And he didn't.
But she didn't. So
I think this is going to be finally the redemption that people have been hoping for with Jaime Lannister.
I agree.
They were working on it for so long, and then they put him right back with her, and you're like, come on, like what they do with this character? This is finally that step. I think the symbol of him covering up that gold hand was like him saying he's done with this crap, with this Lannister crap. You know what I mean?
I agree. But now, I thought for a while he's the Kingslayer. I thought he was going to end up being the Queenslayer.
I think he's still going to end up being it.
Not when she's pregnant with his kid. Unless something happens to that
Something's going
pregnancy.
to happen to that baby.
I don't think he kills her.
Or the baby's born by then. They could
That's-
always shift ahead.
That's
you know
a
what
possibility as well, but
Or she's not pregnant at all.
that could be too. That could have been. That whole thing could be a ruse to convince Jaime,
it's
to
all a clever
convince.
ruse.
I think Jaime's going to end up dying. I think he's going to sacrifice himself for some kind of cause, or he ends up with Brianna Toth, because they're kind of have a thing.
Well,
you know what I mean?
she likes him.
Yeah, she's like the guy she can't get or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's going to have some. I think there's going to be good redemption for him. He's going to meet up with them. You know, how this season you had like these team ups that were great. Where you're like, you have the Hound and Tormund. I think that's what you're going to have in this one.
Jamie
like-
and John.
It's like Jon Snow, Jaime, all these guys like side by side fighting. Where you're like, you never would have
It's
thought.
like the
you would've-
Avengers.
Yeah, like the Avengers. You never would have thought you would have saw it till now. You know. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but I thought it was cool that he finally woke up and realized that his sister is a psychotic bitch. So next, you have Jon and Daenerys. So. Jon, his numbers, he still has his men he had from last year. He had about 20, with the Vale, he had about 23,500 men.
Okay.
Well, he lost some wildlings, so he's probably right around or even
20,000.
20,000, somewhere around there. And then he has Sansa and Arya and Bronn. You still think that Bran is the Night King?
We'll get into that later. I don't think it.
You can go into it now.
I can?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so there's speculation online that there is a triple warging situation where that Bran wargs into the past and becomes Bran the Builder that creates the wall to stop them.
Stop himself.
To stop himself from coming down is the Night King.
No, not to stop himself, to stop
The Night King, or the White Walkers, or the First Men.
the first men.
Okay.
And then
They make
that doesn't work, so he wargs back even further and ends up in the Night King, and then he gets stuck there. Because remember...
So you
one of
think
the-
right now the person that you're talking to, this three-eyed raven, isn't Bran at all?
No, I think it's Bran, but he's also...
Stuck in the past.
He's stuck in the Night King.
Yeah.
And this is why the Night King
Because-
can always pick the animal he's warped into. Because every time
Yeah.
a raven flies over the
I
Night
don't know if
King,
I would like
he
that if
spots
he
him.
ends up Bran's just a Night King.
Because they're wearing the exact same outfit and they have all the same like weird mannerisms. I don't know. It's far fetched, but like
Because remember when during his training, the old three-eyed raven told him, "You cannot stay in a form or in a vision too long, or you will get stuck there."
Because the Night King touched him in that one vision he was having.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I knew where he was.
I still think it's going to come. I think Bran's another casualty next year. I don't think he makes it out. I
There's
think he
always
does-
gotta be a three-eyed
I think he
raven.
does something to sacrifice or win.
I think Bran. I don't think that there can be. There has to be another three-eyed raven.
Well, they always talk about when you in this show is the prince that was promised and all that.
A lot of people are saying now that's Jamie.
People think that's Jaime. People think it's this baby. People think it's the baby of Jon and Daenerys. People think it's Bran.
What's another thing too? They always talked about the three heads of the dragon. Is it the Night King?
Because he's on a dragon.
Yeah, Jon Snow and Daenerys. Like it's.
Do we think Jon rides that dragon that's named after his dad?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
In fact, I actually wouldn't be surprised if he ends up on Drogon and Daenerys is on the other one.
Well, Drogon's kind of her.
I know, but Drogon
And
is...
Drogon,
They
and
had that moment.
It's a name thing. Drogon's named after Khal Drogo.
Yeah.
The other one's named Rhaegal or whatever. He's named after Rhaegon Targaryen. That's how the names I know.
Vizerin is named after Verizon Wireless.
Verizon Wireless, right? Named after her other brother. That's how she named him after three people that were no longer there.
Okay, you're right. It will be the other one then. You're right.
It's like destined to be his.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, if the one was named after her brother isn't there, the Night King could also be her brother.
What, her Viserys or whatever?
Was that the one that gave her up to slavery?
Yeah, it was the one that got the gold poured on his head by.
But she has an older brother too that was dead before because that's her. It would be Jon's dad. No, that's the other
That's
one.
Rhaegar.
Yeah.
The one that they showed you was marrying the Stark
Is
girl.
that was that the same actor?
I think it was
as
the
her
same
brother?
actor. No, I don't think that was the same actor as her brother.
It
He
looked
did look
very
similar.
All
but
those
the-
Targaryens
but
with
the
the
other
silver
one,
hair
but he
looking
had,
like.
But in the vision, he had darker hair, didn't he?
No,
It was just like-
what's his name had darker hair? Baratheon and Ned. In that,
Okay.
But when they got married and they tied the ribbon around the hands, I looked at it and I was like, it's the same dude.
they kind of looked alike. They might have been. I don't know.
He's got dirtier hair, but it's the same dude.
So on her side, she still has like over 100,000 Dothraki, big army. Still the Unsullied are probably a little bit less than 8,000. They were big. They showed up in force.
Yeah.
I like when she had all her armies outside of King's Landing.
And the best was the Unsullied standing in formation, and then the Dothraki just coming pouring
Just
through.
pour in everywhere. 2 dragons, the Hound, Bran of Toth.
Brian of Toth. Who's Brian of Toth?
That's how I wrote it. Autocorrect is what that is. So she still has quite the huge
Hey everybody,
army.
I'm Brian of Toth.
Where do you think?
And Arya's wolf.
Yeah, Arya's wolf. Whatever happened to Ghost? Where's John's wolf?
It'll come out.
Ghost was killed. They killed Ghost when they killed Jon.
Yep.
Oh, did they kill?
Yeah.
See, I thought Ghost got away.
No, they killed him because I in fact I believe
Just like they did Rob.
when they panned back after they'd stabbed him 40 times. I think Ghost's head was on like a pike in the back.
Was it?
Yeah,
I
because
think I could
Ghost
be wrong.
tried to save him,
Yeah,
and they got Ghost first.
That sucks. So the only wolf that's left is Nymeria.
yeah.
She's just running
And
around in a
she's
pack.
We
Wild.
saw her this year, so
Yeah. Cool. So where do you think this giant battle will commence? Do you think it'll get to King's Landing?
I think there's
Because that battle, the whole force of her army is going up to meet up with Jon's army at Winterfell. So either it happens up there or it happens down by King's Landing if it ever gets there. 'Cause she's just going to sit back and retake all the territories that Daenerys already took. That's her plan.
at some point, maybe when they're coming north. I think they're gonna have to retreat at some point. And maybe this could all finish at Castle Rock, maybe, where her army is coming north to retake stuff to get back to Castle Rock, and they have to retreat, and the two armies meet at Castle Rock, and then the dead fight. I don't know. I think at some point, I think there's going to be an initial battle at Winterfell, and then I think they're going to have to fall back.
I think that, and also I think with her with the Ironborn people. What's his name? What's the dude with no testicles? Or Theon.
Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah, Theon Greyjoy.
I think he's gonna that Golden Army. I don't think you're ever gonna see them. I think when he goes to get his sister back and all that, he's gonna end up killing his uncle and retaking.
Well, his uncle's not going to be there. They went if he had to go sail to another part of the world.
Well, Theon's chasing him.
But he thinks that his sister's at home in the Iron Islands.
Does he, or does he think he's with?
Yeah, because they don't know that he didn't.
Yeah, they don't know where he... Well, I think they're going to eventually culminate that storyline where he goes to the Iron Islands, they're not there, they find them.
Okay.
And that could be another piece of Theon's redemption, is maybe he comes back with that entire fleet. And so, like I said...
They think they're coming to be bad, then they show up and they're on Theon's side.
Yeah, and so you've got Cersei's troops, Jon and Daenerys' troops backed up, the White Walkers coming down, and then you've got Theon's crew... coming from another side.
I like what they did with Theon.
them.
I like him and Jon's interaction when they finally kind of like forgave each other. And
and I like the way Jon did it too. He's like, I can't forgive you for everything. He's like, don't get this twisted. I can't forgive you for everything. He's like, for the stuff I can, you're good.
And he's like, why are you still standing here?
Yeah.
That's good. And he took an ass beating too in that scene. And then he gets kicked in the nuts and starts smiling. There's no nuts there being a
It still hurt.
Still hurt.
Still,
I mean, he took a beating. And I'm like, how's he even still walking? Like,
and then he killed the guy with like 3 punches.
I think he had a rock in his hand.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I remember it because Saber said the same thing. I was like, there was a rock in his hand. You could see the one scene when he hits him. He hits him with something. I'm like, I hope he doesn't have to fight everybody else because he's pretty much spent after that fight. But his was all right. It was good they tied that up. So what do we think is going to happen with Jon and Daenerys? I mean, obviously they already did it. You know she's pregnant. You know they're going there. What do you find out? This is your aunt. Is it okay because they're Targaryens and Targaryens intermix, keep it pure and all that kind of stuff?
I don't know. I think Jon Snow wasn't raised like a Targaryen, so he's going to have some serious
issues with it,
inner turmoil, or they're not going to tell him.
Do you think she's going to have issues if she finds out because he's ahead of her in the throne thing and he's the rightful heir? Because I don't think he'd want it.
I don't think he would either.
I don't think he wants it at all. I think he's happy just being in the North, but he wants to be with her. I don't know, it's a weird situation.
You have to see how it plays out, but I don't think that he is going to seek the throne. I think he's just going to want to serve her and service her.
And service his aunt. It was strange.
Well, all the memes on Facebook again, it was like, Season 1, ew, incest. Season 7, all right, incest!
I'm happy about it. Now, do you think the people in the North are going to turn on him at all? Or do you think Sansa has them all?
I think Sansa has them all
in shape.
Yeah.
They're not going to be like, oh, he's down there with this.
If Sansa doesn't, Lady Mormont's going to have them all in shape because that 6-year-old girl is going to tell everybody off.
She is great. I like her. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think they're past all that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I want to follow you shit.
I think there's too big a shit going on for it to get to have those issues.
They're locked in.
Yeah.
They're ready to go.
So one of the other, was anybody else afraid when they got to the point where the Hound brings up that giant box? Was anybody else?
It was going to be empty?
Not empty, but that it was just going to have died.
Yeah, when it did.
Because when they first got there, he just like flicked it and it went crazy.
Well, I thought when he said "Don't touch this," that one of those guards were going to go and take it out. And then he leaves it just sitting there.
Don't touch this, I'll kill you first.
Like I just when he opens the top and it doesn't move, I'm like, oh, it's dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, this was all for nothing. Oh my god.
Now my prediction with him is I think it's going to come down to a scene where Arya is fighting the Mountain and the Hound, and the Hound's going to sacrifice himself, get killed by his brother, and then she finishes off the Mountain. I think he's going to sacrifice himself for her.
I can see that.
I think that's what it's going to, because I liked his thing with her about when Brian said, she protects her, and he's like, you don't have to protect her from me. Basically saying I'm totally fine with that girl.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen. I said this on an episode before. I would like it to end with Sansa runs the North, Arya's the king of the North Guard, and the Hound's in her army. And he's just happy.
Or the Hound's with the Night Watch.
Yeah, with the Night Watch, or like they're together some way in a good way. You know what I mean? Not a creepy way, but like he's just like running the stables there, and he's happy. You know, to be that's like one person he truly likes.
I feel like there's got to be some closure, and they're setting up for. If you think about it, there's a lot of houses you don't think that should be around that have predominant people in the family line that are somewhere that could be prominent again. Like the Baratheons can come into power again if the son gets placed back into the original lands, and he can lead them. You know, you have there's someone else too.
Yeah, I hope they do something good with Gendry.
What happens to the Vale now? Like, who now takes over the Vale?
Isn't that
could Arya go and take over the Vale?
She could.
What about that boy that she slapped around?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that.
I thought Littlefinger killed him.
I thought he was dead too. The son or whatever.
Did he throw him out the sky roof or sky?
I'm pretty sure he killed that kid.
The moon door.
No, I thought that he went to go train in the army.
Because that's Jon Arryn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, his father was also Jon Arryn, wasn't he?
Yeah,
the original one.
Okay.
That Littlefinger had killed. It started all those problems.
I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember. Yeah, here we don't know our facts, but
and if you don't
a
like
time ago.
He's got to be wasted.
So who do we think? Let's think who we think dies next season. Who makes it out? Who doesn't make it out?
All right. Next season, I think Cersei has to die.
I think Cersei dies. I think Jaime dies too.
I don't know. Jaime could be the great Lannister, and since he under old leadership, he was never allowed to claim land, and he's kind of like lost. I think maybe with his brother as the hand of the queen, he claims
Classily Rock, and he's
like the
Lord Lannister.
Yeah, he's the Lannister.
And Brienne of Toth is in his like army because she loves him so much.
Or maybe she's on the wall with what's his face,
Tormund.
Tormund Giantsbane. Does Tormund die?
I don't think so. I don't know. I think he makes it. I think like I have this feeling like Davros or whatever his name is,
the Onion Knight Davros.
Yeah, that he's not going to make it.
I can see him dying, like because he's not really a soldier, but he can.
I have a feeling Jon Snow doesn't make it out. That they have a kid, and that kid's the heir and the rightful heir, and he doesn't make it. And
I think
because it ends that creepiness of that he's with her, and what do you do with that?
I think it actually will go the other way. I think Daenerys dies and Jon lives.
Okay.
Ooh.
I think the Hound dies. I think the Mountain dies. I think Arya makes it out.
I think Arya makes it out.
I just want to see what she does with Baelish's face.
Where is it?
I didn't even think about that.
Taking that face.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
And Sansa wouldn't have it.
No.
Take it.
No.
And
she could go right into King's Landing.
Just with everything that Bran knows that he's done, and then if she takes his face and can go anywhere, King's Landing work deals with Cersei, like
she can do
that.
That's how she gets close to Cersei.
Mm-hmm.
What about who's the bald eunuch?
Varys.
What happened?
Varys.
He did some shady shit back in the day.
Oh yeah, he's hopped from house to house.
I wonder if he makes it.
He would be the one to know about Jon already. Because if it's written somewhere, he's got people that would know that.
His little
I feel
birds.
like I feel like he's a character that ends up doing something either great or turning and doing something bad. Because he was another one that said, I've never been a lord. I've always been a...
He serves the people. He doesn't serve as the
people.
queen or the king. How about Dr. Frankenstein that built...
I feel like he's going to do some shit next season, too.
I feel like with him looking into that zombie, he's going to... I think he's going to mess around and make his own zombies. Yeah. Or now that the Night King is on that dragon, he can fly south and start killing people at random spots. So the White Walkers aren't just coming from the north anymore. They can be in random, like, wherever he just drops down.
Yeah, and he could go down there and touch little kids and turn them into...
What? Really? That's where you go?
Well, you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
It sounds weird when he says it, but remember any of the little babies that he would get from Crastar?
Yeah.
And he would touch them on the head and they would grow up? That's how he makes White Walkers, not... There's whites that are the zombies, and White Walkers don't look like zombies. They look like ice creatures.
They're almost like generals of
that's how he makes them.
Which he's got, what, 5?
Looks like he has more than that. I don't.
Yeah, but he always has those like 4 around him, and then one's like down there. And
because they got one.
It seemed like they came out on the horses, and there was a bunch more of them. You know.
And how much dragon glass did they?
Because John's killed 3 or 4 of them.
he killed the one, and they all dropped, and now they know that get
Yeah.
them.
Well, and John killed one or two of them. One of them because that's how he discovered that Wolfsbane is Valerian steel.
Yeah.
Because he
Longclaw.
Longclaw. Thank you. That's
Spain, the new mutant.
that's how he because he killed one at that big battle where he saw them raise all the
Right.
dead there.
Yeah.
I thought that he was. I thought
Then they did the
Mormont
Star
would-
Wars droid thing, take out the mothership and they all
Yeah.
go down and all that.
I thought when he offered Mormont that sword back, he was going to take it, and I was more heartbroken that he thinking he was going to take Longclaw.
Now,
He's going to take it.
I mean, the main thing is if he kills the Night King, the rest of them all go away. So I think that's
Hope.
totally going to be.
Oh yeah,
But can he kill his brother?
That's totally going to be a
he's
scene
gonna,
that
he's
happens.
Gonna, the and this is my prediction. They made such
This
a
is a
big
prediction episode.
This is what they made. They made such a big deal about that exchange of the sword and him saying, "No, you earned it." I mean, they made the sword a focal point
Yeah.
for a good couple minutes. So
That
you know
sword's going to be
he's
used to
gonna
kill the Night King.
Who's going to wield it?
Oh,
And
yeah,
the
sorry.
sword is going to be killed.
One other thing I want to see next season, I want to see Sam use his father's sword to kill one of them. I want Sam to get some
He will.
action redemption, not just knowledge, not him being the fat friend.
This guy wants to see Sam get some action.
We've already seen Sam get action. I
I
want
want to have
to
his moment.
I want to see him get his moment in battle.
I think he makes it. I think Jorna Mormont makes it. I think he's gone through too much bad stuff. to
Mormont
not-
can lead the Night Watch.
He could either lead the Night
Oh,
Watch,
that's
or he could even go over back where the Dothraki are from and lead people over there as well too. Because he was he knew that land.
Yeah.
He was established over there. Because there's still all those
He knew that land. It
people
was
over
his
there.
land.
What's that group she had over there of all those guys that she left behind to keep the peace?
Oh, all the Rob. Oh, I forget what
Those,
you're talking. Yeah,
Those men of they were the men of something or whatever.
they were all the thieves, and they.
Oh,
That was
that's-
her group. She left him behind to keep the peace with the slavers and all that on Slavers
The
Bay.
guy
and-
who was in love with her.
yeah, he's
Dragon's Bay now.
So you have all those guys, which you don't know what can happen over there. Maybe Jorna goes over there or something.
Or they pulled them in. But
There's a lot of land over there. If you look at the map, that's Westeros is the smallest compared to all that.
yeah. But there's a lot of things that can happen. So does anyone have any weird any more predictions? That's
No, I mean that's just the ones we talked about there. I mean, I think there's going to be something that no one sees coming. Obviously you're going to see a big dragon battle too. Where there'll be more dragons? Because that's the other thing they talked on that
Well, and
this could unlock the age of.
if this if this ends even reasonably happy and Daenerys has 2 dragons left, has anyone ever established, are they male and female? Can they breed?
I think her main dragon survives and the other 2 dragons kill each other.
That could be too.
Something of that.
Or
nature.
if you kill the
Night King,
that dragon's gone
Dragon's
as well.
gone.
Yeah.
Those giants are going to be some shit.
Yeah.
Watching them mix it up. It'll be interesting.
My favorite part of the season also was whenever Sam meets Bran, and Bran's like, "I'm the three-eyed one," and he goes, "Awesome." I have no idea what you're talking about.
Their conversation when they discovered all that was pretty well.
And I like that there's something that Bran didn't even know. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know they got married."
It was good to see the way that finally people were saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're say it out loud and just figure this out already.
Well, in the prediction on Jon's true name, they messed up too.
Aegon Targaryen.
Because people thought it started with a J, because there was a previous Targaryen king was Jaehaerys or something like that, and that's what
James.
Apparently, in the book, there was already another Aegon Targaryen that wasn't Jon Snow too. So
yeah, that he's named after. Wasn't the Mad
Rhaegar's
King?
son.
Wasn't the Mad
Rhaegar's
King
father,
Aegon? Yeah. But there was maybe Aegon's father was Jaehaerys or something like that, and that's what people thought that Jon's name.
maybe that's what their baby will be called.
Because instead of Jon was they kept the J to match it, but
Gotcha. Well, there you go. Predictions. A couple years from now, we'll see if they come true. A couple years from now. Ridiculous.
It's getting to be good.
Anything else you want to say about this being episode 100? I just want to thank everybody for their support. Hope we get some more.
Yeah.
The people who do listen, we appreciate you.
Definitely.
And we
Yeah.
look forward to more stuff.
I think it's great. I think from an outside perspective, I listen to it a lot because I travel a lot.
Thank you, Rob.
So it's like having conversations, and I don't. It's like having people in the car with me having conversations.
If you want to be really excited, head on over to SoundCloud and listen to us draft fantasy football later.
Oh boy!
Oh boy! Everybody loves that.
We went from our highest rated show to our lowest rated show in 1 week.
Peaks and valleys, man. Peaks and valleys.
Ken has a new catchphrase he's going to end every episode with. So,
all right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and kiss your mother on the mouth for me, and I will. I'll talk to you later.
Later.
Bye. Good night.